Well, welcome to Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. I'm Doug, and today we're going to do a little crafty stuff for Christmas, so stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back. So I've been hinting in a couple of videos about what our theme is. Now, usually every year I like to do some type of theme for Christmas. So last year we had a big German Christmas. The year before that, I believe we had it was called a magical Christmas mixed in with a Mexican type of Christmas. That's where we made also, we had some recipes that related to the country, and last year was a lot of German. The year before that we had some Spanish recipes, and then I also did a Victorian Christmas one time. I did a simplistic, very simple, I think it was called Christmas Simplicity, where I focused just a lot on natural elements. And this year, here it is. Some of you have been asking me, what is the theme? What's going on here with A Christmas to Remember? Well, A Christmas to Remember is really everything from the past that I really, really loved, and I'm kind of putting it all together. But this is a big part of the focus, which is this: A Christmas Carol, written by Charles Dickens. Now, I have read this story ever since I was a kid, and also I love the movie. The original from the 30s, I loved the musical Scrooge 1970 with Albert Finney. So that is the focus of this year. That's why with the garland, with the popcorn and the oranges, you know, that's pretty much how a lot of people would have decorated their trees back in the mid 1800s. And of course, as years went on, Christmas trees became more and more elaborate. But I'm going to include a lot of those elements into this year's Christmas tree, but also include some elements from the past that I really love, like Victorian, German, of course, German ornaments that I got actually from Germany, and just other things that I really, really love. I'm incorporating my Mark Roberts Elves and Fairies into all of this. So that's why it's A Christmas to Remember. But, you know, when we think about A Christmas Carol and the message in A Christmas Carol, I just love it. I mean, it's so meaningful to me. And I love how it starts off. Marley was dead to begin with. There is no doubt whatever about that. The register on his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, and the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it. And so anyway, I love this book, and I love the movies. So today we're going to focus on we're going to do a little crafty stuff, and we're going to focus mainly on A Christmas Carol. Now you see this big box here. This is where I store my Byers Choice carolers. Now I'm going to give you a little history about Byers Choice, and just so, I kind of talked about them in another video. When I did my Halloween video, I had a caroler of a witch, and I talked a little bit about Byers Choice, but I'm going to remind you guys a little bit about Byers Choice. Byers Choice is an American family-owned and operated manufacturer of Christmas figures and holiday decorations. They are located in Chalfont, Pennsylvania. The company produces over 500,000 carolers annually, which are sold by over 3,000 retailers across the United States, Canada, and Europe.
The company is currently run by Joyce Byers, the founder, and her 2 sons. Her husband is now retired. Joyce Byers is an artist, and she created her first carolers after a trip to London, where she saw winter scenes on display in many shop windows. When she returned home to Pennsylvania, she began to craft her own Christmas figures, and she did this using wire, newspaper, fabric, and clay, which she found in her home. She used the carolers to decorate around her own home at Christmas, and many visitors commented on how much they liked them. Then Joyce spent the next several autumns making her new carolers to give as gifts to friends and family members. But in the early 1970s, she offered some of her creations for sale at a local women's exchange, and later had some items at a local store. Within several years, Joyce and her family couldn't keep up with demand, so they basically created their business, and Byers Choice Limited was formally created several years later in 1978.
Okay, so let's take a look at what's in this box here. So here are my carolers, and I'm going to start out with let's start out with this one. This is the Ghost of Christmas Present. Now they have the Ghost of Christmas Past, they have the Ghost of Christmas Future, but I only wanted the Ghost of Christmas Present because of the little scene, the little vignette I'm going to make on my table. But as you can see, look at this caroler. Look how beautiful it is made. All these carolers are handmade, and the quality and also the details that are in everything, it is just so beautiful. The faces are clay, and I mean, just the way they make them is just so beautiful. And this, of course, is the Ghost of Christmas Present. Then I have, then I have right here, this is Mrs. Cratchit, because of course I'm going to have Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim. So look at Mrs. Cratchit for a second. Look at look at how they made these, so beautiful. There's the Christmas pudding. There's the Christmas pudding. She has the Christmas pudding. She's ready to serve the Christmas pudding. And so there's Mrs. Cratchit, and then of course we have here Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim. Very important. Look how they made Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim with Tiny Tim. So he's on his back here of his dad, Mr. Cratchit. So we have Mrs. Cratchit. Look at that. What a family. And then, of course, the star of the show here, Ebenezer Scrooge. Bah humbug right here. And this is him in his robe, and he's walking with his candlestick. And of course, he would be next to the Ghost of Christmas Present, because they are observing what is going on with Bob Cratchit, Tiny Tim, and the family. So I thought this would make a really cute, beautiful little vignette. Of course, I'm going to have the book along with it. Look at that. This is a book I had forever, Christmas Carol. And then we have to make a Christmas tree, right? So here's a Christmas tree that I'm going to also set up. And of course, we're going to have to decorate it. Now, the way they would have decorated it back in the mid-1800s, of course, would have been with maybe candles on the tree. Maybe they wouldn't have had candles, especially if they were poor. It's possible they could have just had some paper ornaments. And that's what we're going to focus on for this. So I have this star. It's kind of rustic looking. That, of course, is going to be the tree topper. And then what we're going to make today is I got through Amazon these little, these are called Stick-a-Lick gummed paper shapes. They're for paper chains. And I got the thinnest one I can possibly find, okay? And we're gonna make just some paper chains that are connected. I haven't decided if I'm gonna do what colors I'm gonna do. If I'm gonna just focus on white or I'm gonna do some gold. Haven't decided yet. Have a mix of colors, but I'm going to put this paper chain together, show you how to do it. It's super easy, and maybe it's something you want to do. Okay, so as you can see, I'm getting this paper chain made, and of course I have to fluff out my little Christmas tree here, and I'm not going to decorate it all now because I'm going to save that for later when I decorate the living room. But you can see these are all the elements that I'm going to have. I even have a little tiny ornaments. They're super small. I plan on putting those on the tree. I wish I had miniature, like really miniature, like oranges and things like that, because I know that's something that they would have put on their Christmas tree. But I'm just going to go with this, and I'm going to probably use like maybe one from each. There's a red, green, gold, and silver. Maybe one or two, depending. So I don't want to fill it up too much, just a little accents. But you can see how cute that's going to look hanging on this little tree here. Little ornaments there, all right? So you can kind of get an idea. And then, of course, we have the gold chain that's going to be going around. So I think it's going to look really cute when we put it all together. But making these gold chains are very simple. You can see here's a long one here. And basically it's called Stick-A-Licks Gummed Paper Shapes Chain Strips. And like I said, I got these on Amazon. So all you do is lick it like that. And then you place it through the link. And you make it stick on the other side here. Press together, hold down a couple of seconds or so. And then there you go. And so I'm going to continue making this. We have these little ornaments for the tree. So not only am I going to have the little ornaments on the tree and the paper chain, but I also got, this is Lenox. Lenox is a porcelain company, and this is the 12 Days of Christmas. So they're super small ornaments. Look how cute they are, super small. This is 5 golden rings. And of course, I'm going to decorate this Christmas tree with the 12 Days of Christmas. So how cute is that going to be? And of course, the 12 Days of Christmas is a very famous English Christmas carol. So I think it's going to turn out great. And I think it's going to look super cute on the coffee table in the living room. This cute little vignette remembering A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. And a little side note, I think it's super important to always remember today and focus on today instead of worrying about the future or focusing on the past. Live for today. Thank you so much for joining us today on Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. Remember, if you want that homey vibe, you need to subscribe. And please give this video a like. Until next time, my friends. Bye-bye.